Hello and welcome back to our channel. This is a fun video. All of our videos are fun, but this one is extra fun because we are doing a lot of fashion talk in this video. So VDC is famous for our mix and match sales. We have done some epic mix and match sales in the past. This is like a smaller mix and match sale, so we're calling it a wardrobe refresh. Now we have some wonderful pieces here, and the most fun part of the whole process of a mix and match sale or a wardrobe refresh, or just adding a new piece to your wardrobe is how you style it. And we have Christopher Johnson here, who is our style guru, and this is the best part. He takes all the pieces from the wardrobe refresh line and styles them into a new look using pieces from our subscription boxes. A lot of these are from subscription boxes, which makes it really fun. Some of our dolls that have come out by Robert Tonner, some of those original outfits, some of our mix and match pieces of the past. You're going to recognize a lot of this clothing because the way that they are styled are all pieces that we have released in one form or another. And when you can take one shirt or one skirt or one pair of pants and create a whole new outfit using the pieces you have in your wardrobe, you're going to feel very fashionably accomplished. I love doing that, but I also need that inspiration for myself. So I subscribe to channels where I can watch, what are 10 ways that I can style this blazer? And I suddenly have 10 different outfits from one blazer. So it's very, very, very helpful. Christopher has spent a couple of days putting together all these fun looks, and whether you buy anything or not, you are going to have so much fun on this video because chatting dolls, chatting fashion, and just letting go and immersing yourself into the fun of fashion and dolls is something that we can all enjoy. So we're going to bring in Christopher Johnson, and we are going to go through all of these wonderful looks and get a little fashionable refresh in our wardrobe. Come on in, Christopher. Hi, Christopher.
Hello.
How fun has it been the last couple of days styling for wardrobe refresh?
It sort of feels like visiting an old friend.
Yes.
It's been a little while. So welcome back to our segment of sorts where we do a little fashion fun. This is a really fun project. We've just been able to incorporate some new pieces, and they really do span the full breadth of function, of aesthetic, so you can play with this many, many ways, and it's been a lot of fun to sort of re-envision pieces that I had like maybe categorized in my brain as one type of garment or like serving a particular function, and finding a new way to be inspired by it with new pieces. So I hope today to show you what that looks like, going through both Elowen and Grace. This really is an Elowen sale, and there are a couple pieces that I'll point out later that don't really fit Grace, but you can play with the vast majority of this for everybody. And I think it's a lot of fun. Hopefully you can, get inspired to dig through your old wardrobe and play with some pieces in a new way. So I think it makes sense best to go through this as linear as possible. So maybe we'll start on one end here. And
this is really fun because this was one of the first major projects that you did working here.
Yeah, it was. When I say it feels like revisiting a friend, it's been a little while. We haven't done one of these in some time. And that was a really gratifying sort of test when I had started early on was, can I, make this work? We had a bunch of pieces that I wanted to find a new way to use differently and maybe even more effectively, and it was such a fun, interesting challenge, and it turned out to be really rewarding to embark on that. And so clearly it's been enough of a fun bit that you, the customer, enjoy. So we continue to bring out new mix and match pieces, and this is just a little snack size version of that. So actually I'll start with one that we've already shown. This was an ensemble that I'd thrown together for
Order of the Garter.
Thank you. The add-on for Grace for last month, and I love the way that you can use this skirt. There are endless possibilities. It's very versatile. But what this showcases is a brand new shirt that I love. It's a really gorgeous, soft little lacy bit with sort of a bandeau beneath it. And if you want to wear this any way that you want to, I styled this one sort of monochromatically, but it's great for layering under jackets. It's great for adding texture if you want something that's otherwise pretty simple, but you want to add a little bit of flair through texture. This does so effortlessly. Snaps up the back. Per usual, this is always best done with removing hands first. It fits fine over her hands, but I find that fingers can be cumbersome. So I would say as a default statement, just take the hands off. But this one is really fun. I envisioned this as her sort of, you know, scuttling off to a ballet lesson in, you know, perhaps the most posh outfit possible. And like I'd mentioned in, you know, in other videos, this actually is reversible. So I'll show you later. This displayed inverted so that the lace is actually the panel that you see over the top. It's really pretty. But I love this little high neck, almost a turtleneck, little lace shirt. It's so cute. So pair any hat with this that you want to, as is standard for all of these. So I've got Nima here in something that is perhaps a little familiar, I think, from our most recent season 2 for Ella, when this was the finale garment. And I think this jacket really gets to sort of sing her song when it's paired with something more simple. I love the pattern of that outfit, and it was one of everyone's favorites. I think that was just such a knockout ensemble. But a fun way to wear that as a separate is separately. So we have a tank top here that is just a really simple white tank. You can wear this any way you'd possibly imagine. And with a really cute sort of acid wash, not quite black, not quite blue, deep, maybe indigo gray denim skirt. Really cute. You've got sort of a raw edge at the end, so the more that you wear that, the more sort of like worn and edgy it becomes. It's really cute. And then it's got real belt loops and a snap fly so that you can put a belt with it and accessorize that in any way. And I did so with some pearls, keeping it a little on the, you know, sophisticated side, and bringing back a shoe we haven't used in a long time. These are a couple years old now, but I really liked that touch of like satiny, purpley lilac purple that really sort of, I think, accentuates the color of the jacket. So again, accessories are the whole secret. Pair any accessory you want to with this, but it's just a great way to show that you can wear something really simple, like a tank and a skirt, and suddenly it's, you know, going out to brunch.
So the newest item, we do have a restock of the tank tops, but the newest item is the skirt.
Yes.
So, and we had put out tank tops before, but we can never have enough.
I mean,
they always sell out.
I use them all the time, and I think they sell out because, like, they're so versatile.
Yeah.
I love the way that something sleeveless creates a casual silhouette without, like, changing the value or changing the context. Like, you can still wear a blazer or a really nice, maybe sort of elaborate skirt, something that feels really sort of dressed up with a tank top, and it's just a more modern, sophisticated way to do that look. It's just a little bit more, it's a modern twist on classy. Anyway, this is a really fun sort of quirky, goofy, classic, throw everything at the wall sort of ensemble. And it uses many existing pieces, but the highlight of this one is the dress. This has a really cute sort of puffy short sleeve and a cute little bow garnish right at the collar. It's a really lovely sage and cream mix gingham in a sort of like simple A-line. It's just really cute cotton sort of day dress. You can wear this for any occasion. Great for summer, but really cute, I think, for changing seasons. And colors that I don't always get to play with, I tried to mix together here. I really love the combination of pink and green. Like, you know, color theory, they flatter each other. But sage in particular, I thought was so nice with sort of a cornflower blue. And so using all of that at once was a lot of fun, and I found that I was inspired by the texture of the gingham, so I also reached for our Harajuku tights. These are the white ones with black polka dots, and then our add-on sandal from New Year's, just a little pop of something metallic I thought made it feel a little bit more contemporary and a little bit more metropolitan, like she would maybe be really out in the world, really going somewhere. And then our, of course, little Chanel purse. It's just a little fun pop of color. This dress does not necessarily invite wearing a belt. I will say I think a belt with this is a little silly, but I liked incorporating the pink and I liked the beanie, so I thought what better way to, you know, throw in a little bit of more texture than to accessorize. So necklaces, belts, purses, oh my, do what you will. That's just a fun way to play with this, but it also stands so well by itself. So we have our first Grace model of the lineup. This is a really lovely one. It incorporates many pieces. The newest one here is actually the shirt. The shirt is actually a leotard. So I'll show you in another example that sort of more clearly highlights what the garment itself is, but what I really love about it is the texture of the sleeve. So this is a black leotard. This comes in several colors, and it's got a nice full voluminous long sleeve tulle with little Swiss dots in flocked, you know, coordinating colors. Really cute, and I thought that the many pieces of of this just really warranted something that was a little bit whimsical. So we've got Grace sort of attending perhaps a, you know, a matinee or going to the opera or seeing a ballet. This feels very, you know, dressed up and ready for a performance. And I used our winter cape from 2 Christmases ago. Has it already been that long? And our Cinderella necklace for a little added touch of, you know, glamour. This is actually the corset from our Little Mermaid fashion. So if you just want a little bit of extra texture, I like the way that the corset sort of meets the waist into the skirt. You have a really nice sort of V line at the waist there that the corset creates, and it just laces in the back. It's a really fun little added touch if you want to exaggerate, you know, some you know,
and this is
layering.
also a new Grace.
Yes, this is a brand new doll.
Coming soon.
This doll we've teased before, but she is, I think, going to be everyone's favorite. She's the most versatile, I think, as far as themes go. She is sort of designed to be a, you know, romantic character, something that would evoke, you know, a rich romance of yesteryear, but because she is sort of versatile, I think you can wear her for any occasion. You can pull this doll out to sort of display any vibe, and I thought something sort of dressed up and glamorous was appropriate. So this is our lovely bright vibrant green skirt that we did for a surprise mystery bag recently. This was in summertime, and I think we still have a couple of these.
This is Emerald Petals, and
yes, it is.
It has a beautiful floral shirt that comes with it, but as you can see, yes, this is stunning.
I mean, I thought it was such a nice way to having that mystery bag be separates was really fun. We haven't done a whole lot of that, and actually I use that shirt again later, I'll show you, but this I thought had so much value in being 2 pieces. So if you want, rather than the blouse, I think, of that matching set being the major statement, if you wanted to give the skirt its flowers, I think let the green do its job, and then pair it with something neutral like black. And then I added our green shoes from March of last year. These are a lovely little add-on that I use all the time. So, I don't know, playing with color, but in a neutral way. So here is another example of that blouse. I'll stop calling it a blouse because it's a leotard. This is made for layering, so you can put waistbands up over the, you know, tuck it in easily is sort of the idea. But this shows that you've got a really lovely full sleeve with those Swiss dots. I love this tool. It's so cute, and it's a great way to add volume and texture and whimsy to something without being too kooky. You know, for those of us that want to be reserved with our, you know, whimsy, this is, I think, a good way to do that. I paired this with our Buckingham Besties from ages ago. I love this skirt. It's almost a like persimmon red. It's not a cool tone red. It's a warm, punchy one. And actually, I think even though they are different shades, it pairs so well with this leotard. I wanted to do something that felt a little bit retro, a little bit maybe Valentine's inspired with this, so there's some, you know, heart motifs and there's lots of red and whatever. This little bow I've actually pinned to the collar of the leotard. This is from our Alice in Wonderland box, again from a while back for Grace. And then I thought, rather than doing, you know, fully one color story, playing with the hardware of the purse was fun. So she's wearing a gold earring and a gold shoe to add a little bit of texture without competing with that red. And I just thought that was such a lovely combination. You know, it speaks to the versatility of something like this garment. It really does give, I think, all of the other pieces their moment of, you know, highlight, but facilitates it without, you know, getting in the way. I just love this sleeve. It's a lot of, I used it many times, so you'll see that it's already a favorite of mine. So here we've got Nima. This is one of my favorites, mostly just because I love pink, and I'm one of those lunatics that I think you could wager that pink is sort of a neutral color. You could use almost any color, even if it is a saturated one, in a neutral way. If you're treating it as a neutral, it sort of becomes one. I know that sounds kooky, but I think if you are maybe depending on something like cream or beige or taupe or any sort of like earth tone as being reliably safe, consider treating something like pink the same way, and watch the way that your whole wardrobe sort of reforms. Like, you can approach colors with a different perspective and see if that feels more accessible, and maybe if that approach then sort of infiltrates the rest of your wardrobe. I have found that for me, leaning all the way into color has done a great job, even in a black turtleneck today. More color the merrier. So this is a really lovely display of actually the bathing suit skirt for, this I believe was, no, this was Z's. I think Gwendolyn was blue and Z was pink. And so it's actually a bathing suit skirt. I know that the length is a little scandalous, but I thought it was such a fun way to do something that was out on the town, a little bit Mean Girls, a little bit youthful, but still, you know, maybe like private school wealthy. Like she's going somewhere with daddy's card, you know? I love this little Chanel purse to go with it, just adding a little touch of pink. And then in addition to this new piece here, this highlights a brand new jacket. It's a really lovely denim with a crochet lace collar detail, and it's got snaps down the front, snaps at the cuff so you can sort of roll them back if you want something a little chunkier. It feels a little 80s to me in a way that I really like. It sort of revisits something vintage and, you know, makes it feel modern. And then on the shoe, or on the foot rather, for the shoe, I have the add-ons for, oh no, these were for the box for December.
Ballet in Bloom.
Yes, they were. So, I don't know, a little way to play with pink in a couple different shades without them feeling like they're in competition. And then also on this Nima with the blue eyes, I just love this doll. I love the neutral lip, I love the bright blue eyes, I love the cropped hair. She's a great contender for a little neutral pop of color. Beside her, I've got LON here. This is our Inset Eye LON that we released most recently, and she is a knockout in this. I wanted something that was really sort of straightforward, and I think that this skirt that we released last Mix and Match, this was actually our travel collection.
Yeah, our travel essentials.
This was a really good one that I found felt very Parisian, but also was, you know, versatile. And so with a little beret from our subscription, this highlights the new piece, which is a really lovely sort of sweater leotard. You've got, I've displayed this one off the shoulder because I think it's really cute and it's stretchy enough to do so, but the rest of them you can see it's just a classic V-line, and you've got buttons all the way down. This is really easy to put on. There's no snaps, there's no Velcro, there's no zipper. It just stretches up over the torso. Again, I would say best done with hands removed first, but you can really play with this so many ways. If you really wanted to be a lunatic, you could put, for example, you could put the white lace shirt we were just looking at underneath this. You could do a bunch of things. You could wear a dickie, you could do a scarf, you know, but also beneath other pieces, this under jackets, this under coats and things is just a really practical thing to layer up for with the turn of the season, and a fun way to add texture. I love those buttons. So using our little lace sock here to give us a little bit of texture. This is our Harajuku mule. I love the little pop of peachy pink and red. There's a little bit of blue in there just to give a little bit of texture visually, and I wanted to sort of tie into that with a little clutch. So you could even make your own sort of purses at home if you wanted to add in a greeting card, or maybe she's running around with a baguette, or she's got a dog in her hand, you know, she's got her little, you know, purse dog, whatever it is. This is a great way to use any accessory, and it doesn't even really have to match. For this one, I think the accessory is kind of not the point. I think the outfit is just meant to be very effortless and simple, like she's practically running an errand and just happens to be this glamorous. So next, we've got Grace here, and I love this outfit. This shows off a brand new pair of leggings. So we've got a couple different pieces here, but the main component is this really nice black, sort of practical utilitarian, slimming, glamorous, a little bit chic legging. It does cut off at the cuff. It's not a footed legging, so it's really easy to apply. And I love the way that pairing it with a black boot really elongates the leg. This is actually a shoe from our most recent historical subscription for Grace. We've done a lot of add-on shoes, and this is just a black boot, and even though it is meant to be a historic, sort of antiquated boot, it feels like you can throw it on for any occasion. This boot really is so versatile, and I think it gives actually a sort of like edgy, modern, girl on the town sort of vibe. Perhaps that's the bright yellow leather jacket, but I think the boot combination really brings that out. And this is actually that blouse from Emerald Petals. You can see that it really has so many colors to work with, and I wanted to let those sort of do their job and highlight them with that bright pop of color in the jacket there, and then the rest of that remains really nice and neutral. Sort of calling back to that with the hair. It's not black hair, but it's a really dark brunette, sort of bookending that bright pop of color on the torso. And then a really cute little light gray, heather gray VDC purse. We've been giving these out as add-ons and gifts with purchase lately, so if you have some of those, bring them out. They're really fun, and I think this is a great way to do something that feels casual, but intentional. This one's a little goofy. I was thinking about like how to play with this and how to work with this, and we're featuring a couple of pieces here. Most notably, it's a brand new silver skirt. This is a really lovely sort of snap fly metallic silver stretchy skirt. It's the same material as our magic pants and as our boots here. And I thought pairing the boots with the skirt would be like ridiculous and really fun. So I thought, what if she were a chef, but like in The Fifth Element? You know, what if she's like serving sushi in a sci-fi movie? And so that this is a really sort of silly way to play with a futuristic, metallic, robo-woman idea, you know, with the pieces that you have already in your wardrobe. So this is actually an apron that we did for Grace for Valentine's Day a couple of years ago. And then we also have this is a great way to show off that leotard. Just a straightforward black with the black Swiss dots, the sleeves. It's a fun one. And then we have our bonbons, the Belgian bonbons hat with her sort of inscribed name there, and a tray of sushi naturally that she acquired in Harajuku. So this is many elements. This is both Grace and Elowen, and it's over the course of several years. So if you are a longtime fan, then you have so many fun pieces to reach back into your wardrobe for and repurpose and re-envision those accessories in new and perhaps outrageous ways. And then in front of her here, I've got one that I really enjoyed putting together. This one, again, is also pretty silly. This is Elowen sort of ushering in the season. So using that leotard as the base layer, this is the white version, and it's got, you know, white tulle, white Swiss dots. It's really fun. Over the top of that, this was the jumper for, I want to say it was the second month of the first season of the subscription.
It was the add-on for Sweet Scoops.
Yes,
so we
okay,
had...
so it was the first month of that.
Yes.
Yeah, this one was fun. This came with a skirt that pulled away. There's a lot going on here, so let me try to dissect this succinctly. First off, we have the tights. That's layer 1, is the Harajuku tights. Then layer 2 is the leotard here. Layer 3 is the add-on jumper, and then layer 4 is the skirt, which is actually not the tulle you're seeing. This was the little black dress 3-piece set we did for Grace a while ago. This one had a couple of different, you know, pieces and ways you could wear them. This had a sheath, and it had, I think, a jacket or a bolero, and it had the skirt. So I did this underneath the tulle crinoline because I wanted to see that tulle texture over the top, but I wanted it to be opaque. So then your next layer is this, and then you have a belt, and then you have shoes and a purse and a bow, and I just went all the way out. This feels like a sort of classically ridiculous mix and match piece that's just, you know, needs to be reeled in. But I wanted the multiple shades of orange, and I liked the, you know, the palette with the orange and the black and feeling a little Halloween-y. So there are many pieces here. If you want to, you know, enjoy anticipating October a little early, this is a fun way to do that. And with white of all things. You know, the main piece here that we're offering is a white piece that you wouldn't normally think of as Halloween. So think outside the box maybe for your Halloween palette this year. And then I've got a sort of lounging chaise Nima here, sort of splayed out and relaxing. This is a really fun one. This feels sort of like cowboy streetwear. There's a couple different, you know, ways that you could go about this, but perhaps if you were attending a recent Beyonce concert, this might be a fitting ensemble. This features the same pink jacket that I was showing you before with that crochet lace detail and the snaps. This is just done in black, and I rolled up that cuff just once so you could see it's got some really nice volume. It's elastic cinched at the waist, so you get a really nice full appearance, but also something that still allows you to see a waist and not making you feel or look dumpy, right? Underneath we have one of our older lace leotards. This is one of the sleeveless ones, so if you still have this in your wardrobe, it's a great thing to reach back in there for. This also showcases a really lovely new little black denim short. Again, you've got a nice sort of worn frayed edge here to feel a little bit lived in. A snap fly, and these coordinate really nicely, so if you wanted to wear them together, it's an intuitive pair, but you can mix and match them as you see fit. And then of course I thought sort of a dramatic earring and a statement shoe were appropriate for a night out, and I think the way that this crochet lace wears with the cream of this is so pretty. So if you were subscribed to Grace in a prior season, you would have access to these, some of our arguably best boots shoes to date. They're so wonderful. and they pair with many things really, really well. So the next two are actually some of my favorites in the whole lineup. I love these. I've got Nima here in some really fun pieces. This is a really great new modern streetwear classic, like kid of today. I think like this is it's very youthful and it's very fresh. This features a really fun elastic waist cargo pant. It's easy to put on, it's so versatile. It's this great sort of like earthy army green, and it's got a drawstring here and some big pockets. I love this pant. I think it's one of Rachel's favorites as well. You've got a really nice sort of fitted cuff at the ankle, something that gives you a wide balloon shape, really sort of right on the cusp of athleisure while still being sort of trend forward and edgy. I just think this is so fun. I see her like walking around Brooklyn like looking for like a $14 latte, you know, like just like she's so fun. The headscarf is actually a convention exclusive from a Tonner piece. Again, this is a Sweet Scoops jumper underneath the pants, so there are shorts that are right about here under the pant leg of the trousers, so you gotta sort of tuck in those shorts, but it's really lovely. And then I've got okay, we got to the bottom of it. I've done this twice now on camera where I forget the long game. I'm so sorry, both Elowen and Robert. It always escapes my brain. So these are the shoes that came on the long game. They are a really lovely sort of like Gucci inspired chunky flat. They've got a really nice full sole and feel very streetwear, so I thought this was a natural pairing for these pants. And then I also brought out Anne's violin backpack. This is such a fun little piece that we did from February of last year for Anne, and I thought it's still in scale for Elowen, and it's such a fun, whimsical, goofy, youthful little piece to throw in. Perhaps like she's, you know, she's out on the town. It's an afternoon on her day off and she's exploring. And then I did a little lemon slice earrings. These were add-ons and gifts with purchase for Harajuku. So hopefully, again, this highlights the ways that you can reach into a wardrobe of many things and just view them from a different lens to try something new. I love the headscarf with the glasses. I love the shoes. This just feels like such a fresh, innovative way to play with this character and with our mix and match pieces. And then I've got Elowen here in what I think is one of the most ridiculous looks in the whole lineup. I love this. This is like looking for a yoga studio on Rodeo Drive. She's out in the world looking for somewhere to go like do yoga in, you know, enormous crystal earrings and pumps. we're doing mules and a crop top looking for like athleisure. Her afternoon is going to be spent doing athleisure things. So, and this is actually just a towel that I rolled up under her arm, but this highlights a new piece with sweatpants. These are a really fun, sort of trendy little jogger that you can wear any way that you want to. I cuffed up the ankle to make it feel a little bit more lived in, but I paired it with our mules from Paris, and this is actually the Artful Ease sweater that this doll came in, and we're using our December crystal orb earrings, and I just thought like she would be such an insufferable person to run into on the street, and I wanted to sort of channel someone that's a little bit in her own world, and I think this does that very well. So if you want to wear joggers practically, if you're putting them on Grace and doing, you know, crisscross applesauce or something on a BJD that would give you, you know, really great articulation, you can wear it in like do poses, but you can also create a character that maybe is a little bit out of touch and lots of fun. Joggers are a great way to lean into that, I think. Next, I'll show off this Grace here, who's also wearing the same pair of pants. So this is, again, a very sort of streetwear, perhaps like Instagram ad, athleisure way to approach this garment. It's maybe a little bit more practical, but like how hilarious that both examples are done in heels. I just think that that's so fun. And here she's actually wearing her basic undergarment as sort of a sports bra, and we've got a cardigan from yesteryear that we used for a different mix and match sale. I brought out a really vintage hat for Grace. This is one of her beanies from several years ago, and our Buckingham Besties purse, just something that felt really trendy, really fresh, really current, and I think that the hair also really adds to that. So a long sort of tousled, crimped, natural hair with a fringe bang just feels like she almost looks like a real person in this to me. I really love this, and I pair pink with black so often. Again, this sort of uses pink as a neutral and like approaches it with that sort of casual, you know, lens. So really fun sort of daywear athleisure Instagram ad Grace. Down here I've got another Grace modeling some new stuff. This notably is a really lovely sort of buffalo print or buffalo plaid print skirt. It's a really large scale plaid here in sort of a like muted cocoa, sort of like the color of hot chocolate powder before you mix it. It's really nice, and I love that paired with a sort of rich ivory cream. It's a nice versatile one, and if you wanted to wear something like a pop of color with it, it does so really nicely. I think I used this again in sort of an all neutral taupe scale that I'll show you, but this is a shoe that we did as an add-on for Grace recently. I want to say that was July or August, and then we have her shopping bag because she's out on the town. Paired that with a belt and some earmuffs because it's, you know, we're anticipating the turn of the seasons, and I think, you know, that plaid adds so much texture. So if this were otherwise just like a you know, plain solid pencil skirt of any other color, it would be cute, but I think that plaid gives it so much, you know, real life fun and makes it visually much more interesting. So you can play with that dozens of ways. Moving right along to, here's that other example. We've got this skirt here that is paired with a leotard that sort of functions as a little bit of a spoiler for the customers that are planning to purchase Grace and the new dolls. We will have one of these garments in different colors, but we'll have this leotard as one of the pieces that comes with Grace. So it's a really nice hook and eye clasp at the back. It's a long sleeve, high neck, just classic layering cotton leotard you can put with anything. And again, this is in sort of a nice earthy light brown, and I thought it was such a gorgeous color that really accentuated the fur from our November box for Elowen. This was, Copenhagen Cool was one of our, you know, most popular, and I like to think that, you know, we know why. It's a very strong one, and the coat is just such a knockout. So pairing that with anything neutral and brown is sort of, I think, a great intuitive use of color. We did our knee-high winter boots and a little VDC purse here. This is a fake, you know, Hermes. I really wanted to play with the cream in the buffalo plaid, so I also have that in an old beanie that we had as a sort of, you know, side add-on, and then just some hoop earrings because that gives it a little bit more touch of personality and a little bit of something that feels like realism, like she has some character. So, you know, maybe she's shopping for, you know, holiday inspiration. She's going on the hunt for gifts for December. Love this one. This one's so fun, and I think it really works with that dark red lip as well. So we've got another Nima here in an example that I love. This one is so fun. It's one of my favorites. This feels like such a sophisticated, elegant way to dress up a denim skirt. What would otherwise be, I think, really casual, this really comes to life as sort of a statement look, as if she were shopping an international big city. She's looking for high-end couture, and I really love the way this came together. So this is the same pink denim as the jacket with the crochet lace that you've seen before. Those two together make a fabulous pair if you wanted to work with some sort of monochromatic inspiration, but this as the statement piece, again, pink is a neutral. I think this really works so well that way. So we've got one of our biker jackets that we've had for Grace for ages in sort of a nice heather taupe, and then this is the Long Games leotard, the one I can never remember the name of. Isn't it? Didn't she come with this? Or is this? Oh, I'm having a stroke. It's a Tonner original. It's a leotard. This came with, oh, this was with the hat and the pink, right?
Garden variety?
Is that garden variety? I'll have to double check. Now I don't know. Don't listen to me. I'm not an expert on anything. This is a Tonner leotard. I just liked the lace. And I'm sure he'll just laugh at me for not knowing the products that we work with all the time. I thought it added so much elegance and texture without being distracting. So just plain white with that little bit of lace really brought it so much sophistication. And then I liked the idea of pairing little pops of red as the sort of accent. So we've got a red gemstone earring, and we've got a red gemstone in the belt. And then we have a little red pop in the shoe with those slingback mules with the cherries on them. So I thought, you know, that one little pop of like jewel tone red was such a nice way to bring it a little bit of additional, you know, something, give it that zhuzh. Because just taupe and white and pink is pretty, but I think it feels elevated and it feels maybe more layered with a little tiny touches of red. Love this with the sleek long hair and the nude glossy lip, and then of course our branded purse to sort of top it all off. A really fun way to play with what is otherwise just a simple denim skirt. We've got another monochromatic moment up here with Grace. This is just another way to show off that tank top. So like I was saying before, you can have something sort of elevated and sophisticated and even maybe sort of evening wear with a tank top. And I love the way that that sleeveless shoulder really shows off a stole or maybe a scarf, or perhaps you've got a swath of fabric that you would like to sort of drape elegantly over the elbow. You can do that with this. Here again is that skirt that we were talking about with the inverted lace laying over the top. And then I wanted to play with, again, a really neutral palette in the hair. So we've got this is sort of an ancient wig now. This predates me. This has been here in the VDC boutique for some time. And that allowed the tight and the shoe to really sort of be that sort of silly pop of color at the bottom. So something that's just, really a statement as far as burgundy goes. She's a really fun example for a monochromatic neutral and something that's, a modern take on, evening wear. Next, we've got one that I love. This one cracks me up. This one is so much fun. So I wanted to do sort of like, I don't know, bedraggled art teacher, on the run. She's looking for art supplies in the rain. She's got a class in an hour and she forgot she ran out of like glue sticks. So she's going over to, the paint store to get some supplies. This is kooky. This is fun. This to me is one of the many flavors of Elowen that, rings tried and true in so many of our hearts. Enigmatic, but perhaps she also has sort of a quirky quality. And I think this, if nothing else, is me projecting myself onto Elowen. This is a little raincoat that we did for rain walking, layered over one of those new leotard sweaters. This is a gorgeous, sort of limey, almost pea soupy lime green. It's a unique, rich, bright color without being like citrusy or aggressive. It's really fun. And then I layered this over an older mix and match sort of, again, army green short and a tonner legging here. This tight is a really fun pink stripe. You could pair any bit of pink with this. Again, I think pink and green are so wonderful together. I wanted some practicality, so she's wearing her rain boots that match her little belt and her umbrella as if she's, out in the rain. And I love this sort of Kelly green purse. So playing with multiple shades of green without, any of them clashing, I think is fun. And then we've got some cropped red hair and a little pink eyeglass there. This is a really fun one. This feels like a full-fleshed character. And I don't know, I think if you're gonna wear a clear coat, you should put something insane underneath it. Show off whatever it's clear for. So this one is a fun one. This is another use of neutrals in a fun way. This shows off one of the leotard sweaters in sort of a nice earthy brown. And you could wear this, again, any way that you want to. I resorted to pink a lot in this collection. It's a favorite of mine, but you can use this with green, you could use this with blue, you could use this with shades of white. I mean, I did some ivory and some cream and played with, this one is maybe more about the accessories. This use of this leotard is sort of facilitating what accessories can you best pair with it. So we've got our hat here from Garden Variety, and this is actually, believe it or not, this is a belt that I'm using as a sash around the neck. We used this for the Netherlands box in, I want to say it was May, for Elowen last season, and it just worked really nicely as a little, accessory around the neck. Mix and match cream belt here, and this was the add-on for Grace for February? We did this recently. I love this pleated skirt. This is a really, really nice one. It came with a matching trench coat and some accessories. This was just a lovely, lovely skirt. So new ways to pair with that, this leotard. And then we've got those shoes that I love so much from December. So if you wanted to do brown as a floral, this is maybe a way to do that. And then just beside her here is another one of my favorites. I love this one. Just beside her is another one that is one of my favorites. It's silly. I love this one. We have Nima, and she's about to drop her dog. This is sort of what I envision. If Nima were perhaps a wealthy celebrity, she is picking up her mail and she's on her way to Erewhon. She's running some very expensive celebrity errands. She's got her purse dog, and she's got her latte and her house slippers. I love everything about this. The story that this one creates for me is very clear, and I think that's one of the things that, if I'm being, if I'm tooting my own horn, one of the things that I try to do is create like clear narratives with a project like this. And this is the magic of accessorizing and of doll play. If you don't feel like you are empowered to do so using accessories this way in your own life, dolls are such a perfect way to like exercise that muscle and work with storytelling and work with a creative confidence. I find that very gratifying in my job, so maybe this is a way for you to play with that a little bit yourself. The new piece here are the leggings. This shows you it's just a classic. You've got an elastic waist that slides on really nicely, and it cuts off at the ankle. It's really flexible. This is a little athleisure, it's a little classy, it's a little pretentious, but also, I mean, hopefully, if you are maybe a wealthy celebrity, it's also a little effortless. She just threw on her glasses and her very practical wig, and she's out for her Erewhon run. I love this one. And of course, what would be a trip to Erewhon without her chihuahua, So that's the idea behind her. Next, I've got another Elowen sort of ushering in fall time. This is our, pumpkin patch Elowen. This is our selfie station Elowen. This is our resident white girl Elowen, and she's got her earmuffs and her little pop of orange. This, again, incorporates a couple different elements from over time. The newest piece here is our sweater leotard. This is in a nice rich pumpkin-y color, but it's not like traffic cone orange. It's just a really vibrant, rich one, and it is long sleeved, so you see it's the same sort of style as the others, just in a new color. Our Artful Ease jacket, and we have a scarf that we've put out these scarves for years. I just like that sort of bit of taupe caramel and the way that it adds color and texture and dimension, and it takes it just one step perhaps to the edge. It's almost over the top, and I like that. Added in a nice chocolatey mix and match belt here to create a waist and give some more visual dimension. This is actually the skirt from our season 2 for Elowen. We did this in March. This was her like staycation. She went to, oh my god, where did she go in this? I forget now. It was destination specific, but she was enjoying something a little bit tropical, a little bit, beachy in this. It was made to be a swimsuit cover-up, but I really like it as a skirt. I love the ruffles, I love the cream. It creates a sort of visual top heaviness with all of that chocolate and all of that plaid, and then this sort of draws you down into this gorgeous little caramel boot that we did for Christmas a couple of years ago as well. So playing with hardware, playing with warm, playing with pumpkin-y. It's your first pumpkin spice latte of the season, but for Elowen and for the VDC boutique. I love this one. All right, I've got a fun little tourist here with Elowen in blue. It's a little bit Alice in Wonderland, but I was thinking about like, what if you were trapped in 2009 and you were doing a little European tour? I thought of her being sort of a quirky main character in a sitcom that's like running around and taking photos and being a tourist. This is a fun one. This shows off a new piece that is the shirt beneath the jumper. It's just a classic white cotton shirt, and it's got these really lovely puff sleeves with embroidered flowers on them, so a little bit youthful, a little bit whimsical, very much a classic staple. It's versatile, it's neutral, you can wear this any way you want to. This would be great with the denim shorts, this would be great with the pink denim skirt, this would be great with the metallic silver skirt. I mean, like any of the other bottom pieces from this would be really lovely. You can do it any way you'd like, but I thought with the shoulders, the straps of this sort of jumpsuit, and the shape and the color, it just felt very, I don't know, fun and light and airy and optimistic. I think the vibe of this one is very optimistic. Paired one of our tights. These were some tights that we did, I think, when we released Alice in Wonderland, and then these are the flats that we used for Elowen in London. I love these sort of leather black little Oxfords. They're so cute. A little camera here, her zipper earrings from Harajuku, and then topped it all off with a nice little marigold bow. She's fun. I think she's a little bubble-headed, and I like that about her. And then I guess, last but not least, I've got another one that I really enjoyed putting together. This one is similarly sort of goofy and silly. I love her. High drama as always, a little bit moody perhaps. This is you know, the queen mean girl herself. This is Elowen. She's feeling dramatic today. So I guess any day that you top off your outfit with a tiara is gonna be a good one. This showcases another new sweater leotard in sort of a raspberry color. It's almost like a raspberry ice cream color. It's not like raspberry sorbet. It's like a creamy raspberry ice cream. And I love the way that it pairs with the crushed velvet skirt from the London box. This was the add-on color. And it's this really lovely aubergine that has sort of a berry reflect. Like the way that it catches light gives you highlights of almost hot pink, but the color itself is almost purple. And so paired with that leotard, I thought was so nice. I wanted something that was a little bit disjointed and a little bit excessive. So we paired a nice scarf with this for practicality, but also I love the visual texture that little bit of like gray blue adds, the navy stripes. It's so nice. We used Elowen's shoes as well. These are Tonner shoes that came out, oh gosh, Romantic Possibilities came out maybe a little over a year and a half ago. She's one of my favorites. She's so gorgeous. And I love those shoes. They've got sort of like a ballet slipper ribbon that laces up the leg. And I wanted to incorporate that blue with the scarf and with our little Louis tote here. She's ridiculous. I know that anything that came out of her mouth would just be like seething and mean, and maybe sharp is the word. She'd have a sharp vocabulary. I love the energy that this one gives. So fun ways to play with what is otherwise a pink sweater, and you can sort of create a whole different personality around it. Yeah, I think this is a collection that really got my juices flowing, and even though it is sort of snack-sized, I think this is going to be a really great way to play with all of your existing pieces. If you subscribe to Elowen, if you subscribe to Grace, if you have been on both, if you've been teetering on the edge and waiting for an excuse to try something new with either of them, I think this gives you an excuse and an opportunity. And if you have been along, dive into your wardrobe. We hear so often about, you know, the way that you appreciate sort of reusing pieces, and now you have even more ways and even, you know, fresher excuses to dig into those pieces. So enjoy them, shop the sale while you can. We have sort of limited quantities of everything, and I think that they're going to be lovely additions to a wardrobe that is already quite fabulous, if I say so myself. But there's always room for one more piece, you know? So stay tuned for all of the other pieces that will be coming out, the other collections, the other products. We have so much on the way. I'm really, really excited about everything that's coming out for Elowen Season 3 and the continuation of Grace. There are some of her historic pieces, shoes and things that I was able to use here. So enjoy and stay tuned, and thank you for everything as always, and we'll see you really soon. Bye.
Thank you so much, Christopher. That was so much fun. Our mix and match sales, our wardrobe refreshes, any of our styling videos in general are so inspirational to me, and I know that they are to you. And to be bringing in pieces that we manufactured before Christopher even joined the team, which is over 3 years, it's very reaffirming to me that we are on the right path, we're doing the right thing, and the girls are looking good. They are just, we had everything from a chic holiday outfit to streetwear to athleisure to everything in between. So this was a ton of fun. These items are going to be for sale in a new little spot on our website that's called the Wardrobe Refresh. I didn't want to flood the boutique with all of these things, so you already have the link. The link's in the video, and the items are going to be going live at 11 a.m. Denver time. So if you want to shop, then please enjoy, but I know that this was super fun whether you shop or not. And whether you want to buy anything, you can pull pieces from your wardrobe that are very similar to these. You probably own a lot of them and create a lot of these looks. So just have fun with it, and we hope you enjoyed this fashion special. All right, see you on the next one. Bye.